unlocking eyes wide shut.
All right, let's dive into one of the most hypnotic and, let's be honest, misunderstood films out there. Stanley Kubrick's final masterpiece, Eyes, challenges us to throw that idea out the window. What if the film isn't really about any of those things? At least, not in the way we think. So, on the surface, yeah, it's a story about jealousy. A husband and wife have a fight and things spiral out of control. But underneath all that, it's a full-on psychoanalytic journey. It's like an allegorical deep dive into the hidden structure of who we are and what we want. And that is the story we're gonna unlock today. So here's our roadmap. We're gonna marriage drama. Then we'll get into this fascinating idea of the other's desire. From there, we'll follow Bill on his nightmarish journey, decode that absolutely wild ritual, confront the meaning of that mask on the pillow, and finally, we'll try to make sense of that infamous ending. Okay, let's kick things off with part one, More Than a Marriage Drama. And this is all about the fragile idea of what's called the stability of the imaginary. The film literally opens with Alice looking at herself in a mirror. Now, this is Kubrick, so that's no accident. It's a massive clue. In psychoanalytic terms, this is the mirror stage. It's this thing that just comes from inside us. Nope. It's something we construct by looking at an image of ourselves and saying, yeah, that's me. And that brings us to this key concept, the imaginary order. The easiest way to think about it is as the perfect picture Bill and Alice have of their life. The successful doctor, the beautiful wife, the happy couple. It's a fantasy of wholeness, of stability. But, like any perfect picture, where we see that perfect mirror start to crack, all because of something called the other's desire. So what is it that kicks off all the chaos in the film? It's not an affair, it's not some big action, it's just a thought. Alice confesses a fantasy she once had, and that alone is enough to bring their entire world crashing down, which tells you just how fragile it was to begin with. Now, why is this simple thought introduces Bill to this deeply unsettling concept, the desire of the other? This is the idea that what we want, our deepest desires, don't really belong to us. They're shaped by a secret, private world of desire, and Bill has no part in it. And this right here is the absolute core of Bill's crisis. He isn't just hurt by the idea of betrayal, he's totally shattered by his exclusion. The sudden gut punch leads us to Section 3, A Journey into Night, which is really a desperate search for certainty. So Bill just starts wandering, but he's not really looking for revenge, or just a one-night stand. This whole journey is a world where desire makes sense and the rules are clear. But of course, everything backfires. Every single person he meets, every situation he falls into, it just makes him more lost and confused. He's looking for a simple answer, right? He wants a place where desire is controllable. The big other's ritual, the allegory at the core. Ah, the masked orgy. The thing that terrifies Bill here isn't just the sex, it's the ritual itself. It's that deeply unnerving feeling that everyone else in the room seems to understand the secret rules of this game of desire, and he's the only one who doesn't. He is, once again, the outsider. This secret society is basically a perfect stand-in for what psychoanalysis calls the big other. Think of it as that invisible authority, the they, in What Will They Think, that seems to write all the unwritten rules of our lives. For Bill, this secret group is that force, and they seem to hold the key to unbe baffling to him. So what about the masks? They're more than just a disguise. They're what's called the object petit a, the object that actually causes desire. It's like a lure. It's the shiny, mysterious thing that promises satisfaction, all while hiding the fact that the true source of desire is always somewhere else, always just out of reach. So Bill gets thrown out of the ritual. He goes home, probably thinking the nightmare is over. He's wrong. He's about to face the film's true climax in Section 5, The Mask on the Pillow. This is the intrusion of the real. He walks into his bedroom, his safe space, and he finds the mask from the orgy lying on the pillow, right next to his wife. And in that one horrifying moment, his nightmare world and his home life violently collide. The wall that separates fantasy from reality just completely disintegrates. This moment is what we call an intrusion of the real. Now, this isn't reality as we normally think of it. In psychoanalysis, the real is that traumatic, impossible thing that just appears out of nowhere and shatters all meaning. The mask on the pillow doesn't mean anything in that moment, it's just there. And its horrifying presence is enough to completely obliterate the fiction of his safe life. So after all that, Where could they possibly go from here? Well, that brings us to our final section, a new fiction to share, the so-called resolution. The film ends with Alice's very famous, very blunt final line. Now, it's easy to hear that as just a cynical joke, but it's so much more than that. After their entire shared reality has been torn to pieces, this is a conscious choice. It's a choice to return to the symbolic ritual that holds a marriage together. It's an attempt to rebuild. And let's be really clear about what they achieve in the end. It's not enlightenment. They don't uncover the truth of desire. That was never on the table. What they achieve is acceptance. They accept that their relationship is built on a shared story, a necessary fiction, and they agree to start writing a new one, together. Which leaves us with this final, lingering question. The film seems to suggest that maybe to survive, to keep our relationships and our sanity intact, we need a certain kind of shared blindness. And if that's true, well, it makes you wonder, doesn't it? Are anyone's eyes ever truly wide open?